If you are already in, welcome in. Hopefully you can hear me. If you can't hear me, please send me a comment on here really quick just to kind of let me know about that. I'm trying out these new microphone situation, so hopefully it's working. If not, you can let me know. If so, I'll just assume that it's going well. We're going to be stretching out the legs, but we're going to be going through a flow first to kind of get that, I guess, more of a conducive stretch. So get ready to move here in a bit. We're going to be starting in here in about 4 minutes or so. If you have a strap, I would suggest getting a strap. Again, it's not going to be necessary. You can do everything that we're going to do here with just your body. But if you have a strap handy and you know that you enjoy working with straps, I would say go ahead and grab one. And I'll cue you through without the straps. We'll just go through that. But get comfortable. Find yourself however you need. And we'll get started here in just a few minutes. Get this a little more situated. Perfect. All right. Also, it's a late night class. We will move, but it's not going to be as strenuous of a class as we would have. This is more midday, so take it into account as well. And if you're just joining us, welcome in. If you want a strap, I would say grab a strap, but there's no need for any extra props aside for your own body. So whatever you're comfortable with, take it. I'm going to have blocks with me because I enjoy having blocks. And yeah, strap if you want it. Welcome in, y'all. Again, hopefully you're feeling good. We're going to try to get our flow in kind of quick, get a nice brisk warm up, and then into the stretch. I've been feeling that lately. My body's definitely craved some movement, but wow, it's a finicky amount of movement. I'll get started and my body's like, all right, that's enough. Let's slow it down. And then the exact opposite, I'll be wanting to chill and my body's, bouncing, ready to go. So get that movement out of the way right off the bat, and then we'll start to stretch it out. Get into those movements that I feel like probably a lot of our bodies have been craving. So about a minute left here before we start. Get comfortable, whatever you need. Grab it. And again, if you're not hearing my voice, let me know. Send me a comment here. Let me know. I'm trying this new microphone out, and I don't know how exactly it's going to turn out. I don't have a hearing piece for it, so I can't really tell if you're able to hear me or not. Looks like we are officially live on blackswan.com. So again, welcome to class. My name is Jeremy. We're going to go for about 45-ish minutes, may go a little bit longer. Again, I've been kind of leaving my practice open to how my body feels, which I talk about a lot in my classes, but as we know, we're much better at giving advice than we are at taking our own advice. So I've been much more forced to take into account what my body feels like, how I need to progress whenever I'm offered a pose or a flow of any kind. So make this about you. Take time for yourself. We're going to start today on your backs. And if you chose to have any props with you, go ahead and grab them, set them to the side. We won't need them right off the bat. But come to lying all the way on your back. And for me, I'm going to start with knees bent. But just focus on connecting your entire low back to the ground. So rather than just lying down and letting that be enough, can you connect your entire lower spine to the ground? And notice what you have to do to make that connection here. This might be just rounding your low back to where you tuck your tailbone up to connect. It may take you shifting to the left or maybe towards the right. But get into a little bit of familiar territory with your low back. Maybe even close your eyes. I know for myself, I'm more of a visual learner. So for the first layer was learning what the muscles look like underneath the skin, but even more so is just visualizing what that feels like, what your own body has going on in this moment. Once you've gotten your low back completely flat to the ground, then decide whether to take your legs out straight or keep them bent. You can keep your legs bent throughout every mountain pose, every warrior two, every chair pose. If this feels better in your back, feel free to keep this. Hands alongside your hips, a little further out to the side if it feels better, but notice if you start to lose any sensation, if you start to get any tingling or pins and needles sensation in your arms or your fingertips. Just take your hands a little bit lower if so. That just means you've cut off a little blood supply. Close your eyes and come into your intention for class. What made you want to sign on here and move your body? Intention in mind. Begin to breathe with more focus. Begin to inhale and watch your belly. Visualize it filling up and then emptying. Breathe in and fill up. Breathe out, empty completely. One more round like that on your own. Add a little bit to that. Take a breath in through your nose. Hold it gently at the top. So you're not sealing your throat off. Just a gentle hover. And then exhale again through your nose. All the way to the end of your breath. Hold it at the bottom. Breathe in. Hover at the top. Exhale. Hover at the bottom. Twice more like that. In. Hover. Out. Hover. Once more in. And out. Continue with that breathing throughout the entirety of class. Just as deep, just as focused. Even when you put your body in shapes that are more strenuous, that require a little more energy, can you apply that same fervor, that same focus of breathing to those poses? If no intention came to your mind when I asked the question of what brought you to your mat, let your breath be that answer. To connect to it, to notice it, and to soak up every benefit that that focus gives you. On your next inhale, reach both hands above your head. Stretch your legs out long if you haven't already. Get a good morning stretch, just like you woke up. Tuck your chin, tuck towards your chest. Get a little more lengthening through the back of your neck. your knees into your chest, give them a squeeze. Begin to rock and roll up the length of your spine a couple times, maybe a few if it feels even better. And then let's meet in a seated pose. Take your legs to cross-leg if that feels okay. If you want to take it more into a modified hero's pose, where you're sitting on your shins with your toes or your top of your feet flat on the ground, feel free to take that. Otherwise, from here, reach your hands up to center. Palms come to touch. Then exhale, pull your shoulders down away from your ears. So you created a little space. Keep lifting up through your chest. Take a big breath in. And then exhale, twist towards the right. So twist with your shoulder and elbows first. Keep your belly drawn in. Both hip bones stay connected to the ground. Can you draw your belly up and in a little higher? And then twist a little bit more towards the right. Both hip bones stay firmly connected to the ground. 2 more breaths. Inhale back through to center. Then exhale, twist towards the left. Same thing, both sit bones stay down. Press palm into palm. Lift up your heart. Lift up your elbows, but draw your lower rib cage down. And then continue to breathe with all the tension you're creating through your belly. One more breath. Inhale back up through to center. On your exhale, let both hands touch the ground in front of your legs. Walk them forward to fold. 5 rounds of breath here. Again, if this feels a little too intense in the shape that you've chosen for your legs, come up out of this lowering down and then take a different position with your legs. So maybe cross, maybe take a modified hero's pose, but for 3 more rounds of breath, continue to create focus and tension. Last full round in, out. Walk your hands back in towards your legs. Good. From here, we're going to take it into a tabletop. So swing your legs out to the side, palms down to the ground. Hands and knees tabletop. Strong setup. So you want your wrists underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. From here, tuck your toes, and then lift your knees an inch off the ground for a hovering tabletop or a beast pose. So knees are going to stay underneath your hips. Draw your belly up and in. Keep squeezing inner thighs towards one another, but your knees are going to stay right underneath your hips. They're going to try to draw in, but keep them with a strong stack. From here, take a breath in. On your exhale, hovering child's pose. For this one, keep your knees together. Let your hips drop towards your heels. Bend your legs a lot. And then round through your spine. Take a full round of breath. Inhale, come back to a hovering tabletop. On this one, take your back to a hovering child pose. Knees come out wide this time and take your hips low towards your heels. A full round of breath. Whichever one felt better, keep that option. Inhale, shift forward to hovering tabletop. Exhale, hovering child's pose, the option that felt better for you. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, press it back. And then keep that going in and out. Just here for 5, 4, 3, last 2, last 1. Come forwards, breathe in. Down dog on your exhale. You can step your feet a little further back to widen out your stance, but draw your belly up and in. Press your hips up high to the ceiling. Pedal out your feet here. You can bend your knees a lot, or you can keep your legs a little more straight, depending on how it feels in your body. Press your palms firmly into the ground. Notice you're going to activate your shoulders, get your chest a little closer towards your thighs. 2 more rounds of breath. Breathe in, look forward. Your exhale, step your feet to the top of your mat. Take it a slow journey to start. As we progress through class, you can start to make that transition a little faster. You can take it slowly, progress naturally. Take your hands either to your block or to your shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Draw your belly up and in. Lengthen your chest forward. by lengthening your spine. Draw your belly up and in so it's supporting your spine as you lengthen it forward. Take an inhale. And exhale to fold. And we'll do that twice more. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen up. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, halfway lift. Grow the top of your head forward. Tuck your chin. Exhale, fold. This time bend your legs a lot. Inhale, come up to standing. All the way up to the top of your mat. Once you reach up to the top, mountain pose. Your hands out and up. Let your shoulders drop again down away from your ears. Create a little bit of space. I'm going to take this into a curtsy. So from here, step your left, or rather grab your left wrist with your right hand first. So you've got a strong base through your upper half. Then step your left foot behind your right. So squeeze your thighs together. Rotate your right hip back. Pull your left shoulder up and over towards the right. Keep squeezing inner thighs together. Rotate your left shoulder back and then look under your armpit. One more round of breath. Inhale back up to center, mountain pose. Switch your grip. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and then curtsy towards the right, left on your exhale. Right foot behind your left. Pivot your hips together, thighs together, and then pull up and over to the left. And you're just stretching out your side body here. And then how deeply can you breathe to assist in that length? Inhale back through center, mountain pose. Exhale, back bend. Squeeze your elbows towards your ribs. Lift up through your heart. Now squeeze your thighs together as well. Now can you lift up through the back of your heart and then accentuate your chest forward. One more round of breath. Inhale, reach back up to mountain pose. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen, press into your legs. Exhale, high plank. Plant your hands, step your feet to the back of your mat. Take in a breath here. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Press your hips up and back. Take your right leg high, inhale. On your exhale, bend your legs, stack your hips. Take a little openness through your hips to start. And then tighten up through your shape. So bring left shoulder in line with your right, your chest in line with the ground. Squeeze heel to glute. And then lift your right knee a little bit higher. Take a breath in. And then exhale, runner's lunge. Step your right foot outside of your right hand. Alright, so this is your runner's lunge. Lower your left knee down if you want to get a little more stretch. We're going to take it a few rounds of breath here just to get some stretch, a little familiarity with this pose. And then we're going to add some movement to this pose. And if this feels good, stay here. If you want to take it further, you can bring your elbows, your forearms down to the ground, or if you have a block, bring your forearms down to your block as well. One more round of breath. And press back into your hand. Move any props that you have out to the side. Tuck your back toes, lift your knee. Inhale, three-legged dog. Send your right leg back up to the ceiling. Once again, bend your legs, stack your hips. Now draw circles with your right leg. So wherever you just felt a stretch, begin to take movement and then work out that tension through that you had through that stretch. Once it feels good, come back to a downward facing dog. Full breath in, full breath out. Inhale, left leg high. And then again, bend your leg and stack your hips. Begin to open up, keep pressing palms down firmly into the ground, equally through left and your right side. Rotate your chest flat towards the ground. And then squeeze your heel to glute, lift your left heel a little higher, left kneecap a little higher. Breathe in. And then exhale, runner's lunge. Step your left foot outside of your left hand. Option to stay right here or lower your knee down. Maybe lower forearms down as well. You take this into your shape that feels good in your version of a runner's lunge. Now Notice the stack of your front knee, if it's past your front ankle. If so, just bring it back. Maybe find a gentle squeeze of your thighs together, or this tuck of your chin so the back of your neck lengthens. One more round of breath. Come back through to center, both palms flat on the ground, and flat so that they're supportive. Inhale, three-legged dog, left leg high. Bend your leg and stack your hips. This time, draw circles. And then reverse your circles. Come back to a still downward facing dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. All right. And start a flow. Inhale, bend your knees and look forward. Exhale, step or float forward, top of your mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a mountain pose. Reach up, grab your left wrist at the top. Exhale, curtsy to the right. Step your left foot behind. Inhale, back up to mountain. Switch your grip. Exhale, curtsy to the left. Inhale, back to mountain. Exhale, back bend. Squeeze your elbows together. Lift up through your heart. Inhale, reach up to mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. Breathe in here together. Then on your exhale, chaturanga. Shift forward, lower halfway down. Elbows stay tucked by your ribs. Inhale to upward facing dog. Take a full round of breath here in this first upward facing dog to stretch out your front line. Squeeze your thighs together. Press the tops of your feet down. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, bend your legs, stack your hips. Inhale together. Exhale, runner's lunge. Here is where we start to add on. So you got yourself in runner's lunge. Keep your back knee lifted. On an inhale, reach your right hand up to the ceiling. You can stay here or take it into kick throughs. So from this twist in your runner's lunge, shift forward so your weight is in your left hand and your right foot. Pull your left knee through to your chest and then kick your left foot through. So bend into your right leg. Your left shoulder is on top of your left wrist. Your left foot is straight in front of you. Reach your right hand up. So you have your kick through here. Take a breath and then send it back. And then inhale back to three-legged dog. Right leg high. Exhale, low lunge or downward facing dog. Step your feet together. Pedal your feet. On an inhale, take your left leg high. Exhale, bend your leg and then stack your hips. We'll take this on that side. Take a breath in. Exhale, runner's lunge. Step to the outside of your left hand. From here, inhale your left hand up. Shift your weight forward. Pull your right knee into your chest. Then kick it through. Bend into your left leg. Your left hand stays up. Inhale. Exhale, send it back. Three-legged dog. Breathe in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Full round of breath in. Full breath out. All right. Let's take a couple of those breaths to movement. Get some heat going before we move on, shall we? Take an inhale here together. Exhale together. Inhale your right leg high. Exhale, bend and stack. Breathe in. Exhale, runner's lunge. Inhale, kick through. Left foot through and straight. Exhale, back down. Three-legged dog. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, down dog. Feet together. Left leg. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, bend and stack. Breathe in. Exhale, runner's lunge. Inhale, lift your left hand up. Kick through. Exhale, right foot to the straight. Send it back. Inhale, three-legged dog. Left leg high. Exhale, down dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. A little quicker this time. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, bend and stack. Inhale. Exhale, runner's lunge. Inhale, lift right hand up. Exhale, kick it through. Inhale, back to three-legged dog. Right leg up. Exhale, down dog. Left leg high. Inhale. Exhale, bend and stack. Inhale together. Exhale, runner's lunge. Inhale, left hand lifts. Exhale, kick it through. Inhale, three-legged dog. Left leg lifts. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, shift forward to a high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Clean the slate. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Shift forward, high plank one more time. Hold here for 5. For 3. For 2. Last one. Hands, knees, tabletop. Right into your own version of cat-cow. Inhale, pull your belly forward. Spin your biceps forward. Exhale, round your spine, cat pose. Tuck your tailbone to your face. 3 more rounds. In and out. And in and out. One more time through cat-cow. Inhale. Exhale. Come back through to neutral tabletop. From there, lift your knees off the ground. Slowly tiptoe your feet forward into a forward fold. Grab for opposite elbows. Let your elbows get heavy. Let your spine get long. Find this slight tuck of your chin so that the back of your neck gets long. Check in with your heartbeat. Check in with your breathing. And find this allowing, understanding state. I had this great conversation with a friend many years back, talking about the way that his parents raised him, and he said that their raising was strict but fair. And that was profound to me because I felt as if my raising was not so fair, mostly strict. And can you find that with your body here? Strict with your breathing, this metered in and out breath, but fair with it, understanding when it needs a little space, when it needs a little more action, being there to give it. Release your hands to the ground, bend your knees, and inhale, slide all the way up to standing. Once you reach the top, mountain pose, take your hands out and up. Keep your palms facing one another, straight arm back bend. Squeeze your thighs together. Reach your thumbs to the back of the room so your belly starts to round up to the ceiling. Squeeze thigh to thigh. Feel this lengthening all the way up your back like a ramp. One more inhale. Exhale, hands to your heart, Samasthiti. We're going to take it right into your chair pose. So bend your knees, take your hands up. Your version of chair. Now I like to normally take this with wider legs, knees in line with my hips. Today I'm going to take it closed legged. Let's see what happens. Normally don't take this, so if you take the version that you normally don't take, see what happens with it. It may be good to mix it up, or it may just really solidify the fact that what you've been choosing all along has been the right choice, and if so, keep that. Take your version of your chair. Now for this one, take your hands and grab for opposite elbows, and then press the back of your head into your forearm. So you've made this box shape with your elbows. Press the back of your head into your arms. Lengthen your elbows up. So start to lengthen and grow the space in your armpits. Now notice as you start to press your head into your arms, your lower rib cage starts to flare up. Can you start to regain that? Rein it back in. Draw your lower belly down towards your spine. And then once again, reapply pressure from your head to your arms. Press your arms into the back of your head. And can you continue to grow your spine up from that? One more round of breath. Inhale, reach up to chair, just release your arms. Exhale, forward fold. Excuse me, inhale, halfway lift, get long. Exhale, chaturanga. Plant your hands, and then you flow your way back to down dog. Breathe in together. Out together. All right, take your right leg high, inhale. Exhale, low lunge, step through to your hands. And then warrior 2, y'all. Here we are. Second warrior. First time in class. Find your warrior 2. And what I was saying earlier about bent knees, you can totally take bent knees here. For the bent knees, this one is going to be a bend in your left leg. So if you're feeling a lot of tension in your left hip flexor, your left glute, anywhere on the left hip side, try bending your left leg ever so slightly. And just keep the alignment of your front heel with your back arch. And then you can get as deep into your front leg as your stack allows you to. If your stack begins to get a little dissipated, Your front knee goes past your ankle. Just come up out of it. Walk your front knee foot a little further forward, and then deepen into it. Give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Work into it powerfully. 2 more rounds of breath. Keep the shape in your legs. Inhale, reach your right hand forward. So keep pressing through your back foot. Even if it's still bent, can you still press your back foot flat? Use it to power yourself forward. Take one more inhale with all of this length. Exhale, extended side angle. Lower just your arm first. Then lift your left arm up. Begin to stack left shoulder on top of your right. Find this pressure to rotate your spine all the way from your hips to the top of your head. You continue to press your feet away from one another. Squeeze your glutes, tuck your tailbone underneath you. And pull your right hip bone underneath towards the back of your mat, so as if you're locking it underneath your spine, so that your entire right side body can get long, just like your left side body is as well. 2 more rounds of breath. And inhale, reverse your warrior. Keep the shape of your legs. Just reach your right hand up. So bend in your front leg. Keep pressing through your left hand. Get long again through both side bodies. Now you're trying to lengthen your left side just as much as your right side is getting lengthened. All right, on your next inhale, straighten your right leg. And then star pose. Turn your right toes towards the left side of your mat. Reach both hands up to the center. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Taking a breath. And then exhale into a horse squat, goddess pose. Turn your toes to the outside corners of your mat. Bend into your knees. Get low through your hips. Alright. So for this one, notice your low back. And if you can, if you have a mirror, check in with the alignment of your shoulders over your hips. And if it's feeling a little hard to check in with that alignment, go ahead and take your hands to your hips. So make this C shape with your thumb and your index finger. Wrap that around your hips. And then squeeze your shoulder blades together. So start to accentuate your chest a little further forward. Now, as if somebody has a supportive hand behind your head, begin to press the back of your head towards that hand behind you. And notice when you feel like you're about to tip over, that's a good point to hold. Then if you want to take it further, you can take your hands out. Maybe keep them on your hips. Maybe take your hands out behind your head. And then continue that opening of your chest by pressing your shoulders back, the back of your head into your fingertips, and your fingertips lightly to the back of your head. Creating all of this length. We're here for 5 more rounds of breath. We're going to take this on the other side as well with more options. So if you're craving something else, know that we're going to have more time here. Get familiar with this side. 3 more breaths. See if you can lower your hips a little lower in line with your knees while still maintaining shoulder stacks on top of your hips. Next inhale, star pose. Straighten your legs, squeeze your thighs together, reach both hands up. Exhale, warrior 2, back to the front of your mat. On an inhale, reverse your warrior, reach your right hand up. And exhale, chaturanga. Touch your hands back down to the ground. Step your right foot back to plank, and then flow through your vinyasa, downward facing dog. Good breath in, and a breath out. All right. Let's take it through the other side. Left leg high, breathe in. Exhale, low lunge, step it through to your hands, and then into your warrior 2. Right heel down. Inhale, reach both hands out. You can find your version, warrior 2. Push your feet away from one another. This side is the side that I have to bend my back leg. There's so much tension through the front of my hip flexor area as well, that I can't get a sufficient stack and sufficient power without that bending of my back leg. So try that out, see how it feels. Again, if it wasn't necessary on the other side, it may be necessary here, or vice versa. Check it out. Let it go if it's not necessary. Find your deepest version of warrior 2. Whatever modifications or whatever advancements you need to make that yours. of breath. Inhale, reach your left hand forward. You can pull your left hip underneath you, behind you, to keep lengthening your entire side body. Then exhale, extended side angle. Left hand down, then reach your right hand up to stack on top of your left. Again, shoulders stacked as much as you can, even if that means you come up out of the twist. If you take your chest a little higher away from your leg, still finding the twist through your chest, rather than just finding depth of your hand closer towards the ground. Meet yourself in a fair space here, and then apply your breathing to that fair space. 2 more rounds. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Keep your legs just like they are. Left hand up. Press your right hand into your leg so you get long through both side bodies. Your right arm is an anchor to get more lift. Inhale, straighten your left leg, and then star pose. Turn your right toes out. So both of them face the corners of your mat. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Take a big breath in, reach up, and then exhale, horse squat. Goddess pose. Bend into your legs. Take them out wide. All right, this time we're going to work into some twists. So if you're able to, get your elbows into your inner thighs. And then from here, press to get your spine a little bit longer. So we're going to get some extension, then some rotation. So with your hips in line with your spine, your hips in line with your knees, your shoulders in line with your hips. Press your inner knees away. Drive your shins forward so your hamstrings extend. And then drive your ears forward so they extend away from your shoulders. 3 rounds of breath here. Your belly drawn up and in. Lifted so it supports you. Up to where you can plant your hands back onto your thighs, and then twist your right shoulder in towards the midline of your mat. So now you've got all this length. Can you rotate within that length? Come back to center. Exhale, twist other shoulder down. And where can you apply some pressure? Press your knees away from one another. Press your shins forward. Maintain that twist through your entire spine. You've got 3 more rounds of breath. Even that out between one side and the other. Stay in through center. Now back up to star pose. Exhale, warrior 2 to the front of your mat. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, hands to the ground, low lunge, step it back to a high plank, and then chaturanga, your flow to downward facing dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. Shift forward, high plank. Lower just your right knee down to the ground in your high plank, and then swing your right foot behind you to the outside of your mat. So you're coming into a supported side plank. So left leg begins to straighten out. Reach your left hand up. So just your left foot, your right knee, and your right hand are on the ground. This can be enough and you can stay here. If you want to take it further, lift your left foot off the ground. If you want to take it even further, kick your left heel to your glute and then grab your left foot with your left hand. From there, press everything into the ground down, kick your left foot into your left hand, and begin to stretch your entire body, open up. Breathe into your left side body, breathe into your quads, your chest and shoulders. 2 more rounds of breath. Gently unravel on an inhale. Left hand back up, left hand foot to the ground, and then back to your high plank. From here, left knee down to the ground. Swing your left foot to the left side of your mat, and then side plank over to the other side. Right foot down. Again, you can stay here if this was challenging enough. You can lift your right foot off the ground, or you can kick it to your glute and capture it. Once you grab your foot with your hand, kick your foot into your hand. And then what kind of metered, controlled, but soft, understanding breath can you apply to this pose? Maybe make more chest space in your chest. Maybe the front line of your body. 2 more breaths. Release, slowly come back to center. Right hand reaches up, and then back to a high plank. Breathe in, shift forward. Option to use your knees here in your high plank. On your exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. A breath together. Exhale together. Again, one more inhale. Exhale, let it go. Next inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step or float forward, top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Grab opposite elbows at the top. Press the back of your head into your arms. Press your arms into the back of your head. 5 rounds of breath here, creating length through your entire body. Drive your shoulders, your elbows up. Keep your belly tucked down and in. Find the slight tuck of your tailbone forward so you're supporting your low back. 3 more breaths. Control your lower ribs. Last 2. Last 1. Inhale, reach back up, mountain pose. Straighten your legs, thumbs to the back of the room to find a back bend. And then exhale, forward fold. All the way over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. You flow back to down dog. Always your option to skip. Take your right leg high, breathe in. Exhale, low lunge, step through to your hands. Inhale to a warrior 2. Exhale, extended side angle. And inhale to a star pose, reach up. Exhale to a horse squat. 3 rounds of breath. If you want to get a twist here, if you want to take your elbows down towards the ground, maybe get an inversion in. Last 2. Last 1. And then all meeting back in your horse squat. Goddess pose on an inhale, reach up to star. Exhale, warrior 2 to the front. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, low lunge. All right, we're taking it to a side plank. This time, left hand stays down. If you want that supported version, take that supported version. Otherwise, you can take it all the way to the version where you kicked your heel to glute, where you have a dancer in your side plank. 3 rounds of breath wherever you are. 1 more, you got this. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands down and flow. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. 1 more side, in together. Out together. Left leg high, breathe in. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse, or rather into star pose, right into it. Exhale, horse squat. Your depth, 3 rounds of breath. You choose what happens. And maybe your depth is just stacking your shoulders over your hips. That can be challenging enough. One more round of breath. Can you sink your hips 1 inch lower but still keep maintenance of your spine straight? And then inhale, star pose. Exhale, warrior to the front. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, low lunge. Right hand stays down this time. Inhale, side plank. You get to choose where you stop. Stack your feet. Lift your left foot. Maybe kick it to your glute and grab it. Kick into your hands. 3 breaths. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, hands down. Flow your way back to downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Sigh it out. Inhale, seal your lips. Exhale through your nose back to Ujjayi breathing. From here, lower your shins down to the ground. Walk your knees a little bit further back. And then press your hips back to stack on top of your knees. You can keep your toes tucked or they can be untucked here. But once you've gotten this shape, we're going to take it into a puppy pose. So begin to walk your hands a little further forward. Keep pressure through your hands, so belly drawn up and in. When you pressure your hands, allow your chest to sink towards the ground. But rather than thinking about it as sinking, think about it as pressurizing your hands to deepen into this pose. You may touch your forehead to the ground, you may be able to touch your chest, but you're not dumping your chest to the ground. In fact, you're pressurizing so much through your hands that your underarms begin to lengthen all the way through your middle back, your lats, your traps, your delts. But there's still pressure there. 4 more rounds of breath. Shift forward and begin to walk your hands back in towards your legs forward, back in towards your hands. 3 rounds of your own cat-cow. Just floss out whatever tension that you worked out here. And once you've made it to a neutral tabletop, shift your legs out to one side, lower your hips down to the ground, come down to a seat. Hope y'all are still with me, sticking it out. If you have a drink, water, or if it's late when you're watching this, a beverage, go ahead and take a sip. Get yourself ready. We're going to take it into lying down stretches. So if you are still craving some movement and you want more, feel free to pause the video or come back later, do what you need to do, but we're going to take it into some stretches. So once you've gotten yourself onto your back, and again, if you have your strap, this is where you'll want to keep it handy. But pull your knees into your chest. Take this almost going into a happy baby pose to start. Just checking with your low back here. You can draw circles with your knees as a unit. You get one direction, move through your low back and hips. And then reverse your circles. Make that the other direction. All right. From here, keep your left leg bent. And grab for your right big toes with your peace fingers of your right hand. Left leg will stay bent. From there, begin to kick your right heel up and straight. Now again, if you have a strap or if this is already feeling intense, this is maybe where you want to grab your strap. But notice, even if your right leg is still bent, it doesn't have to be straight. Straight is totally relative. As long as your leg is bent, there's no sharp sensations in your hip flexors, your hamstring, anything like that, then this is a good shape for you. Main focus here is flexing your toes towards your knee, your leg is engaged, and pressing your right heel up, your driving force away from your body. Now from here, begin to pull your inner thighs away from one another, and begin to stretch out your inner thighs. It's almost as if you took a Janu Shirshasana, just on your back instead of seated on your hips. And try to keep equal distance between your legs, so rather than swaying more to the right, and keep your low back completely flat to the ground. So that may mean that you have to pull up a little bit more towards center with your right leg. Once you've got posture settled, focus on breath. Check in with your setup. Continue pressing through your heel. Drive it forward. Check in with your jaw. Notice if you started clenching your teeth. Gently relax it if you have. Two more rounds of breath. Squeeze the legs back together. All right, hug your right knee in towards your shoulder. And stretch your left leg out long and straight. And from there, take a breath in. And then into a supine twist. And then for this one, take your right leg straight again. And then keep your right hip on the ground as you pull towards the left. And it may not grant you a lot of space, but don't worry, we're going to come back to this again. We'll get a deeper twist. But for now, right hip stays on the ground. Turn your right toes towards the left so your right heel can lift up a little bit higher. And then gently pull. Assist more towards the left. Almost feel like you're sassing your right hip down towards the ground to hold it steady, getting the stretch through your right leg, your IT band. One more round of breath. Come back in through the center, hug your right knee in, give it a squeeze. And then we're going to take that one more time. So hug left knee in. Keep your left leg bent. Take your right leg straight. Your heel straight up to the ceiling. You can notice if you've been afforded any other space here now. And once you've gotten where you are in this moment, then begin to pull thigh away from thigh. Open up your legs. You keep pressing your right heel up and away. Keep both sit bones connected equally to the ground. Your spine one straight line. Two more rounds of breath. Once that's finished, come back through to center. Take your left leg out straight. And then this time, we're going to get to open it all the way up. So take your right leg out straight. If you have a strap, take it around your foot. Twist all the way to the right. Otherwise, flex your toes. Turn your left or right toes towards the left. Your heel up to the ceiling. Then begin to twist, and now you can let your hip lift off the ground. Just keep your right shoulder connected to the mat. Let that be the meter of where you decide how much twist you can take. Two more rounds of breath. Back through center on an inhale. And then step your feet wider than your mat. Bend into your knees and then broken bridge. Let your knee windshield wiper left and right. Let that feel good. And once it does, we'll take the other side. Now hug your knees to chest. Take your peace fingers of your left hand and grab your left big toes. Then begin to straighten your leg out. And just be okay adjusting with the shape on this side. For me, it's a much different shape than my right side, especially to begin with. So be with this shape here. Once you've gotten your leg as straight as is relative to this side, then begin to pull your inner thighs apart. Spine stays flat, shoulders stay connected. Breath is full. Remind yourself of that deep breathing you started out class with. Are you breathing as deeply here? Probably not. It's okay. Human. Can you try to get back to that point? 4 more full rounds. Back through to center. Your right leg out straight. And then left leg as relatively straight as you can. Left hip stays on the ground. Take your right hand to your left leg and gently assist it towards the right. Again, if you don't feel enough twisting before your hip tries to come off the ground, come back through center. Turn your left toes towards the right. So you're rotating inward. So your heel lifts up a little bit higher. Then begin to pull towards the right. Familiar with subtle sensations. Cover them with breath. Flood them with breath. Three more rounds. Center. One more time. Pull your knees to chest. Right knee stays in. Grab your big toe of your left foot with your left peace fingers. And then straighten your leg out. Notice the difference in shapes. Appreciate that difference in shapes. And then begin to pull inner thigh away from one another. Open up. going into these poses one right after the other, it can be a lot easier to see the differences that they make, or even more so, how stubborn muscles can be, to show that maybe more work is done. The general rule of thumb for stretching is 20 seconds of focused breathing on any muscle, or pulling at least for 20 seconds. Through the center. Take the right leg out straight. Left leg straight up to the ceiling, and then into your supine twist. Allow your left hip to lift this time. What's funny about that 20 seconds is that, man, it's highly dependent on the body part, how easy it is. 20 seconds stretching out my calves is one thing versus 20 seconds of stretching out my hip flexors or my chest, my pecs. So, while you're breathing, it's okay to change within any given moment. That's life. Be there with it as it changes. Last full breath. Come back in through the center. One more time, broken bridge. Step your feet wide. Let your knees knock into the center of your mat. If this feels good, I'll stay for a couple of breaths. And then switch other side. Toe your feet in together. And then take equal legs. Cross your right thigh on top of, over your left. From here, scoot your hips over towards the left. And then begin to let your knees rotate towards the right side of your mat. So your right leg is going to begin to pull your left leg all the way up to your obliques. Feel the stretch through your hip flexor. One more round of breath in this twist. Through the center, and then supine figure 4. So cross your right ankle where it's over your right or your left leg, and then begin to pull your left thigh up and towards your chest. With all this awareness that we've created in your stretches, decide how deeply to get into your pigeon pose, or recline figure 4 rather. Same shape as pigeon. So notice what gets resisted when you pull knee and thigh closer to chest. Can you press your right knee further away from you? A little more sensational. Add in a hamstring stretch to this as well. You can take your left leg up straight. For this one, I get a little too much tugging on my back of my thigh. Doesn't quite feel supported to me, so I rarely ever take that pose. Again, bodies are different. It's about you. One more round of breath here in supine figure 4. Let your feet touch the ground, right foot to the ground, and then switch out. Left leg over your right. Here, scoot your hips towards the left, and then rotate your knees towards the right. Out to the left. Leg will start to pull and twist the opposite side of your body. What about that? Rather than twisting to your right, twist to your left if you haven't already. Should feel a little different now that you're stretching the opposite side of your body if you weren't already. breath. Make them your deepest. Come back through the center. And then into your supine figure 4. Left ankle over your right knee. Pull your thigh to chest. And adding in your tension, your unique shape in this pose. Your toes, press your knee away. You can use your hand to press your knee away. If that's not enough pressure, just using the strength of your own leg. One more full round of breath here. What feels even to you? Both feet come back down to the ground into a bridge pose. And if you're getting close to bedtimes, as some of you may, if you still have your normal jobs, going into any back bends or bringing your heart way above your head can start to spike up your adrenaline, and it can make it a lot harder to go to bed later or sooner if that's the case. So if that's the case, avoid going that far upside down. So even if you're craving a wheel pose, decide if that's okay, possibly losing some sleep over. And if so, all good. Make that choice. Otherwise, take your bridge. And I've been digging bridge a lot more than wheel lately anyway, because I've been feeling a lot more shoulder tightness. And I assume that's because I'm sitting more. I have my phone or my laptop in front of me a lot more than I normally would have. So I think my shoulders are feeling that. So here, get heavy on your shoulders by pressing into your feet. Lift your hips up a little higher. You can get all the way up onto your traps. And then gently tuck your chin toward your chest and lengthen the crown of your head away from you so that you get space between your chin and chest. And you're trying to lengthen out your spine here. 2 more rounds of breath. And inhale up onto your tiptoes. And then exhale, lower slow as you can all the way down to your spine. Tailbone touches very last. From there, take your left leg out straight. Then your right leg out straight. From here, take a breath in, squeeze your hands and turn them into fists. Squeeze your glutes so your low back lifts off the ground for a moment. Squeeze your shoulders so your middle back lifts. Press your arms, your heels, your glutes, everything that touches the ground, press it down. Breathe here, holding this tension for 4. For 3, if you can find a shake within this squeeze, find the shake. You're here for 2. Last full round of breath. Maintain all of this tension. Take one more breath in, hold it. And then exhale, Shavasana. Release every bit of it and melt yourself back to your mat. Your time for rest. some appreciation for this space here. In my own practice, I've been noticing how much that extra space has helped my mental status. Opened up time for self-care, where normally it would be rushed, sometimes forgotten completely. As you breathe, let your breath fill up extra space in your body. Assign that space for yourself. It's a part of yourself. Maybe that extra space you feel gives you extra time, an extra 5-10 minutes, focusing on your mental well-being, your hobbies, simply not looking at a screen. Parts of you need different amounts of focus, different amounts of attention and love. Be appreciative for that moment here to recognize those things. You just finished cleaning your house. You started to open up all the windows and doors and allow a fresh breeze to blow in. Begin to deepen your breath. Start to blow out any of that excess dust, any of the cobwebs lingering in the corners, the sand on the doorsteps. Flush out all of this stagnant energy. Bring in fresh new awareness. And add movement to that awareness. Wiggle your head left and right. Move your fingers, move your toes. This house shifting with the wind. And it's like we started. Reach your hands above your head. Good morning stretch. Get long. Hug your knees into your chest. Give them a squeeze. Yogi's choice to find a way up to a seat. You can roll to your side for fetal pose. Or if you're yearning to find a seat, roll up the length of your spine. One swift movement. All the way up to the top. Bring your hands to your heart. Lift your heart up into your hands. Forever a student and a teacher. A light and a love that resides in each of us. In yoga, we honor and recognize that by bowing and sharing the words. Namaste. Yogis. That was fun. That was good stuff. I didn't mean for that to go more than an hour, but here we are. Doing the thing. So you stuck it out. Thanks so much for sticking it out. I appreciate you being here. If you have questions, comments, feedback, concerns, if you were like, hey, I saw your cat and I want to show you my cat, reach out. Let's talk about these things. My Instagram handle is on the description here. It's at JaredPose. If you have not or are able to, please feel free to donate to us. We're still keeping this going. Hopefully this will be lifted soon. We were just talking today about, again, getting the studios back into order once all these restrictions are lifted. So that's got me anxious for it. But until then, this is the only way that we're able to make money. So thank you for supporting. Let's chat. Again, my name is Jeremy. Namaste, y'all. Have a great rest of your night. Bye.